Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Small business investment companies, SBICs, are privately owned companies that are licensed and regulated by the SBA. SBICs raise private capital by the Small Business Administration and is matched with leverage by the SBA. SBICs then deploy these private funds along with the SBA guaranteed funding to invest directly in small businesses. The SBIC program operates at a zero subsidy cost to the American taxpayer. In other words, taxpayer funds are not utilized to support credit extended to SBIC investments. SBIC-backed businesses have created over 3 million new jobs and supported an additional 10.5 million jobs over just the last 2 decades. Last year alone, SBICs invested over $8 billion in small businesses across America, including $412 million in my home state of Pennsylvania, 2 small businesses. Though the SBIC program has been very successful in responsibly deploying capital to small businesses, recent studies have shown that less than 20% of SBIC investment reaches low to middle income communities. So H.R. 533, the Investing in All of America Act, which I introduced with Representative Skelton, would incentivize the deployment of additional capital to small businesses located in rural or low-income areas, as well as small businesses in the national security technology sector. Dollars invested in these areas will not count against individual SBIC's leveraged cap. By creating this incentive, the Investing in All of America Act will encourage private capital investments in the parts of America that are, in fact, often overlooked. It is important to note that the bonus leverage included in this legislation does not change the cost or risks of the SBIC program. The existing successful private capital ratio to SBA leverage that has kept the program operating so well and at no subsidy will remain the same. This legislation would also adjust the SBIC leverage caps to account for inflation. SBIC leverage caps have not been adjusted since 2015 for single licenses and 2018 for a family of funds. Since the last adjustments, inflation has risen nearly 30%. So as we continue to deal with increasing inflation, reinstating the inflation adjuster for the leverage cap is essential to ensure the investment power of SBICs remain consistent with the broader markets and ensure the program can continue to provide small businesses with the capital they need. Just yesterday, the Subcommittee on Economic Growth, Tax, and Capital Access, which I chair, held a hearing examining the SBIC program. In addition to discussing the positive effects of the program, we did discuss improvements that could be made. I am happy to say that a number of the reforms suggested by our witnesses are included in this legislation. While there's more work to do, this legislation will make a positive impact on those participating in the SBIC programs and assist them in deploying even more capital to worthy small businesses, especially, again, those who are often overlooked. Now, before I conclude, I would ask, Mr. Chairman, for unanimous consent to insert a letter into the record from nearly 100 small business investment companies in support of this legislation. Granted. I'd like to thank Representative Skelton for her partnership on this legislation and bipartisan group of 14 members who have co-sponsored it. I'd also like to thank Chairman Williams for bringing this bill forward for the consideration today. Look forward to continue working with my colleagues to ensure the SBA's programs, like the SBICs, are serving our small businesses well and responsibly deploying capital to areas where it is most needed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.